had to go and put everything inside the house.
What time was this? What time of the evening or morning was that?
1:30.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. But you were probably still up drinking, I'm guessing at that time, right?
No, not
Only
no.
kidding. Only, only kidding. Right. Okay. So yes, fast asleep, woken. It's like, is that an earthquake or is it the storm? It was a storm on this occasion.
Yes. But actually, I wasn't drinking, but similar. I was just
Right.
stop working and going to bed. And
Really?
when I got to bed, I start hearing this.
Bless you. So working late then, up until 1:30, helping everybody move to Portugal. How are things going?
Good, good. Well, now we have this issue of the government that we don't know how it's going to work. But well, there is one good news and one bad news. The bad
Right.
news is that almost all the visas now are being granted without an IMA appointment. But the good news is that IMA is being faster granting appointments to the visas that are issued without appointments.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for that update then. And still plenty busy, I'm sure, in the EI office.
Yes, and now we have lots of Canadians that want to come too.
Is that right? Is that the
Yes,
big
because
news?
they don't want to be closer to the Americans. So
My
they want
goodness.
to be closer to us. They are just crossing the
Right.
ocean.
Yeah.
It's
What Portugal?
amazing. I'm loving
Maybe it's not a good thing
it.
to say that they would be Portugal's second state, rather than anyway. Let's not go there this evening. But welcome all Canadians to the call this evening, and I do like your backdrop as well. That's very
Thank
nice,
you.
Gilda. Excellent. Okay. Anything else you want to share with us?
No, not for the moment.
All right,
Not for the moment.
wonderful. I share martinis with anyone. Ah, Clint is here. I share
But
martinis with anyone, Canadians included.
Jose Cruz is drinking also. That
Really?
sounds, yeah, that sounds
It's not
nice.
fair, is
What
it?
is it?
Full disclosure, because I've got this cold, I'm wondering if the panel don't approve, their grandmothers will. I've got milk and honey, and I put a few drops of berau in for medicinal purposes. Just full disclosure this evening. So that makes a few of us, I think, tonight. Gilda, we have an issue with our government, and it's not knowing how it's going to work. It's just for us. The issue covers everything. I'm not sure you can help with the US government. Can you've got enough on your plate, right, Gilda? I think there with Diana's question. Thank you very much for that. Sensible, a one-word statement. I'm not sure which part of the show so far you're referring to there, John. And thank you for that invitation, Clint, as well. Martini's being shared with anyone. I'm having a Mercadona rum. Whoa, classy. Mercadona rum with Pepsi tonight. Okay, keep sharing your serving suggestions, if you will, in the chat. These are great this evening on this cold, damp night. Jose Cruz, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Cartuja Vinho Branco.
Oh, okay. Talking of classy, Cartuja, definitely Alentejo. Very good.
Wow, that's fancy.
It
I
is,
got
isn't it?
hooked on it when I was in Évora. It's so good.
It is, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
Very, very good
amazing.
indeed. Yes, you look quite happy with that, Kishsa. I must say, I would be too. By the way, Laronda's in, Lisa's in, Debbie from a soggy Coimbra, so still raining there. Yes, please, Carl. Let's leave this crazy wind we had in Cascais behind. Yeah, summer's on its way. Spring's on its way first, and then summer, of course. Dr. Rita's presentation was so very good, says Debbie. I had my shutters closed, and the wind whistled through them, kept me awake. That was last night, of course. I have a three-part question about the US Social Security when ready. We'll come back to you, Kathy, on that. That's excellent. Get those questions in, please, premium members here on Zoom, if you will. And we need to up our Portugal wine consumption because the USA is putting a 200% tariff on it. You're okay this side of the water, Debbie. Right, let's go to Daniel. How's it been for you, Daniel? As a seafaring man, you must have your timbers must have been shivered, or whatever nautical expression you would be using regarding the
Yeah,
weather over the last couple of days.
not a good time to be at sea, no doubt about it. And actually, a sailboat went to shore on Cascais, a small sailboat. But yeah, the winds were not merciful with that small vessel. Today, when I was driving to work, a lot of trees were just in the streets. In the nearby my office, one of the streets was closed down, and even in the U.S. embassy, a big tree did fall down, and the security guard place where usually stays a metal thingy that just is in the middle of the road was completely toppled. So, not an easy day to be in Lisbon, and I would say that I woke up about 5 or 6 times during the night because the wind was really nasty. So
Yeah.
not an easy day to be in Lisbon, but well, it's I think that the worst is already done, so can't complain on that. And the dams are full, so
Yes, that's true. They're even letting some water out of the dams, aren't
yep,
they? And I'm
yep.
sure the politicians are quite happy that there's something else in the news at the moment as well,
You
right?
bet. You
Yeah.
bet.
Yes.
Montenegro is happy not to feel the heat. It's Martinho that is feeling the heat at the moment.
Yes.
But yeah, and seeing the damages that occurred, especially in Cascais, Estoril, in that region, it's almost a miracle that no one got injured. So that's the positive note. And repairing and cleaning services are already on the spot. So it seems like the public services are working nicely on that one.
Yes, good. And yeah, that's a really good and useful thing to be able to say, isn't it? That things are
Yep.
kicking into action and the roads are being cleared and trees moved and so on. So well done, anybody involved in the emergency services. Anything to report from politics or law this evening?
Uh, I don't know, to be honest. On politics side, it seems like people are ramping up for the elections, and well, accusations are being thrown on who's to blame on the government being toppled. On the world of law, I have no idea because I haven't seen the news today. So I don't know if some bomb ticked off and exploded. I have no idea. It was a long, busy work day, so I don't know.
Okay, Senor Sokrac and his trial after some 10 years, I think that's nearly
That's a good.
came to
That's
light,
good.
didn't it?
The Socrates being on trial is good. It's a signal that the justice system is operating.
Yeah,
And at the end of the day, it's just a shame that it took so long.
right.
Because, even the things that he admitted, being well supported financially by a friend, were kind of shady. So I bet if the justice system does dig in, they will find things to welcome victims. So
There we go.
let's just wait and see.
Portuguese political system moving there, and the president, I noticed, has promised that there will be stability until the election comes in May as well, which we've talked about previously. So thank you, Daniel.
I don't know
Oh,
about that guarantee, to be honest.
okay, you're right. Okay, maybe he shouldn't be making such promises, but he did say that, I
Yep.
believe, as well. Any questions about the law? Let's put them to Daniel this evening. Nunu, I'm guessing a busy day for you in the world of insurance with Martinho rattling everything in the country. Oh, I need you unmuted. And Martinho got your mute button as well.
Okay, now?
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect, perfect.
Sorry. Okay, so I was expecting that, honestly,
Yeah,
but until then, as far as I know, not a single claim. It could be because the people are still navigating on the mess,
yeah.
or because they are just trying to get budgets to do the claim afterwards, or I don't know. But until then, until now, from my side, pretty calm.
That's extraordinary. Well, good for you. Good for you and your clients by the
So
sound of it.
I really don't know. I
Yeah.
really don't know.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Okay. And we've had talk of a little bit of a Mediterranean cruise in the previous call. I don't know if there's anything else that might be said about that, but we will return to it if necessary later on.
Okay.
Okay. Excellent stuff. Anything else from you from the world of insurance?
No, just leave an advice or an information
Yeah.
that not all the insurance are the same, and usually these, especially for those that have houses and gardens and trees and goods outside, only a few of the insurance policies of the market insures these risks. Okay, usually they are excluded on the large majority of the insurance policies. So
Okay.
be aware that they are not all the same.
All right, absolutely. Not all policies are created equal. All right, thank you very much. And
Oh,
then
and if any of expat Portugal members, even not having the insurance policy with us, are handling with issues regarding the storm, please feel free
yeah,
to contact us and we'll assist you no
that's a
matter what.
wonderful offer. Thank you. Yeah, any help required, any concerns, get in touch with Nuno and the team, and you can see the number for doing so on there. WhatsApp, a really good way to communicate with them. Then you can see the number next to Nuno on the screen. Excellent. Thanks, Nuno, for the time being. Any insurance questions, let's put them to him this evening. Ben Scott from Spartan FX. How you doing, Ben? What's it like in UK? I heard it's really sunny and lovely over there.
It's absolutely lovely. No worries about getting a cold over here.
Stop it. Stop
Really
it.
lovely and sunny. Look, I've got a t-shirt on.
I
Beautiful.
can see that. All right. Well, thank you. You can go now. Right. Well, and you've been busy, right? In the world of currency. Oh, you've muted yourself back up there, Ben.
Sorry about that.
No,
yeah,
no problem.
it has been really busy. Obviously, everyone knows about the kind of Trump impact. Obviously, Germany releasing the brakes and releasing quite a lot of finance over the next 4 years for the investments is going to be quite a strong point for the euro, we think. But there's just so many factors that are impacting everything at the moment. But the Trump factor is still the main one.
Right.
We've got the UK budget next week, so kind of all eyes on the UK side of things.
Yeah. Is there a Fed meeting soon as well? Did I hear?
Fed announcement was last night.
Okay.
Interest rates. Obviously, Donald Trump come out straight away and said that they should have cut. Had his input for the independent Federal Reserve. So that was always nice to see. But it is you know, I think they're just waiting to see the impact on these tariffs and how impactful they are when they come in as of kind of 2nd of April.
Right. Okay. All right. So there's that, and the UK budget for next week as well, which will be pivotal too, potentially.
Yeah, budget on the 26th. That's going to be quite a key factor.
Wow, heady times, right? Heady times. If anybody wants to talk to you about changing their dollars into euros, get in touch with spartanfx.co.uk. And Ben's here tonight to answer any questions on that about opening up an account and what they can do for you. Anything else you want to add, Ben?
No, not really. As I say, I think one of the comments earlier about a lot of Canadians coming into the market now, looking at Portugal, we're seeing side of things as well, which we've never really seen before. A lot of US clients historically, but not many Canadian. So obviously, kind of new, interesting market.
Yeah, very good. Okay, thanks for being here tonight, Ben. And sorry to get you out of the garden and your barbecue, no doubt.
I'll get back to it in a minute.
Brilliant. Okay. João Amaral is here as well this evening. How are you, João? How's it going? On the roads, it's been very difficult over the last little while. How are you? And how's the motor industry?
Hello, everyone.
Evening. Olá, boa noite.
Here is everything fine. The storm passed and we have no damage. So everything is good here.
Great. Good to hear it. Good to hear it. Anything of note? I had funnily enough, a test drive of, I think I mentioned it to you, the electric.
Yeah, the R5.
It's been cancelled because of the weather. I am looking forward to that. So that'll have to be delayed. But any news from the industry?
Not as I know, don't know, because it has been a very busy week since Saturday.
Yeah.
The sun comes out Friday and Saturday, and I was completely full at my shop.
Oh, really?
Those 2 days, yeah. It was crazy, very crazy. But it was very good. I closed 4 deals. So,
good man. Excellent.
Yeah. So I'm not very aware of the last news, to be honest.
Okay, no, fair enough. You're busy selling cars. That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's it.
Very good
And
for
answering to the more and more expats that contact me. I have to apologize. Sometimes I don't. I cannot answer right at the time, just in the following day. But I will. If you send me an email, I will always answer to you and try to help. Okay.
Very good. And if we could have that email address, that'd be wonderful in the chat this evening. Anything you want to ask about buying a car here in Portugal, João Amaral is here to help you this evening. And generally speaking, as he said there, you're based in central Portugal, aren't you?
Yes, we are based. I personally, I am at our shop in the center of Portugal, okay, near Fátima, in Orem.
Yeah.
Okay,
Orem.
Leiria, Fátima, okay, Tomar. But we have the main shop in the north of the country, in Braga.
Okay.
So we can assist, and we can assist all the country now. Right now, I'm dealing with an expat that is based on Algarve, and for us, it's good also. We can sell the car, we can deliver a car. We don't charge that. So even if you are in Algarve, we are ready to assist you.
That's great to know. And I think Orem is not that well known among foreigners necessarily. Of course, they know Fatima and Tamar, but yeah, if they're coming to see you, they could well make certainly a day trip, if not a weekend, or an overnighter. It's a great part of the country.
Fatima, in Batalha, Tomar,
Yes, absolutely.
Leiria.
Yep.
We have beautiful places here to visit. Yeah.
Yep, that's worth noting. Thanks, João, for being here this evening. Good to see you. Right, let's get into the questions then this evening. And of course, we prioritize those here, the premium members here on Zoom. Jonathan also here this evening. How are you doing, Jonathan? Oh, a quickie then. Who knows this from the panel? And this isn't a test, because I never know when this is, but when do the clocks change in Portugal? Does anybody know that? No, hands up there. Debbie coming to our rescue, May the 30th. No, really as late as that? Can it really be that long?
No,
Jerry,
it's March. It's March the 30th.
You're right. Okay. All right. Just so everybody's clear, March the 30th. That will be what? Not this weekend coming, but the one after. Okay. When we get, so spring forward. Oh, we're losing an hour, aren't we? We're not getting an extra hour in bed.
On a personal note, I hate the time change.
Right.
I would stop.
We should stay as we are, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Me too. It's so annoying. Why do we need to do it?
I'm now leaving my home with sun, but when the time changes, it's night again, so it's really annoying. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So who do we
No added value there.
Is this the president's complaints book that we write that in? I don't know. What do we do about that? I'm not entirely sure. And it's a pain in many countries, isn't it? It's not as complicated as the United States, though, where they have a change and they change at different times across those many time zones of theirs. It's mad. Right. Okay. So there you go. That will be March the 30th. Thank you, Debbie there. Gilda from Diana. Oh, no. So we'd already done that one about working on the government. Baby steps here in Portugal. Yes, 200% tariff. Oh, Jonathan. Okay. There you go. We have returned to the Pacific Northwest Oregon before the storms. We had a lovely weather 2 or 3 weeks ago. We have decided not to make a permanent decision on where to settle in Portugal, but but return to Tavira area from mid-October. Because yes, I think we might have confused you with all the talk about where to be previously, Jonathan. I have several questions for our experts. Here is the first question. Keep them coming, Jonathan. That is what this is all about, the town hall session with the Dream Team on a Thursday. Given that I'm Irish /UK and Carleen is Canadian /US, what will we need to do to live in Portugal for 5 months, Gilda, without becoming a tax resident for this elongated second scouting trip? Can you help with that, Gilda?
For 5 months, it's easy. You come, after 90 days, you send a letter or write a letter to IMA asking for the extension. Only your wife, because as an Irish citizen you can stay longer, and as far as it concerns to tax purpose, if you don't stay longer than 6 months, you're fine. Coming to the migration matter, after 90 days you should ask for an extension, but because they are not giving appointments for extensions, there is a decree law saying that your visa is automatically extended until the end of June. If you come after June, then we need to see if they have a similar decree law or if they already have slots available to renew your tourist visa.
Okay, great.
Tourist visa.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much, Gilda. There's more for you to come from Jonathan. Keep them coming. Absolutely. Don't be embarrassed to share questions here. That is really what it's all about on a Thursday evening between 9 and 10. Debbie's got a good question. I'm a senior citizen, decided to get a Portugal driving license. Looks pretty complicated. Would I get assistance with it if I attended a Portuguese driving school? Would you care to comment on that? I know that's Carla's speciality, and Jerry might have something to add. ACP can help with that, I think. Do you have a comment on that, Gilda?
I don't think that the driving school is going to help you. You need to go to the IMT for help.
Yes. Okay. Which is not quite as bad as the DMV, in what I've heard from Americans. Close, but
or you can always ask us for help, and Carla will sort it out everything for you.
Yeah. And ACP might be a useful call as well, right, Jerry?
Yes, the reason the driving schools can help with renewals, but they can do that because once you have your photographs on record with the IMT, it's easy to do renewals. So I actually use a driving school to do my renewal.
Okay.
But for the initial exchange, you have to go to the IMT in person, and you have to have the good old sanity check and the medical check before you go.
Yes.
So the first step is to go to a hospital and ask for a medical for a driving test, and get an appointment, have that. The doctor will put the details into the system, and then go to your local IMT office, bring a flask, a big book, some sandwiches, and take a ticket and wait and wait and wait and wait. And eventually they'll call you up and they'll ask a few questions. They'll take a few photographs and they'll do the exchange. It's pretty straightforward, provided your existing license is valid.
There you go. Start your memoirs in Portugal, even whilst you're waiting there. Excellent. Thank you, Jerry, for that extra input. And yeah, a message from Jonathan. Tamar is on the second trip. He's not listening to your advice, is he? I don't think, or he is.
He will get there. He just needs bringing into line, you know.
Absolutely. There you go, Jonathan. And we continue with you. Any advice on 5-month T2 rentals? Is it too early to find somewhere for October 25? Casa Portuguesa might be able to help with that, Gilda. Is that awkward, though, looking for somewhere for 5 months?
It's not easy.
Right, okay.
It's not easy.
Right.
I think maybe it can be cheaper for you to have a 12 lease agreement than 5 months.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because you'll be paying a kind of tourism Airbnb price possibly over 5 months, wouldn't you? Whereas if you go for a year, it could be cheaper, as you're saying.
Because the renting market, it's very hot, as you know, and they are not going to rent a house for 5 months when they've been asking for 3 years.
Yes, indeed. Okay. But Casa Portuguesa can help with that, of course. Reach out to them, Jonathan. Find them in the Expats Portugal Business Directory. Debbie, not a problem. In your haste to help us, it came out as May. It's March the 30th, of course. And Laronda, this is why it won't change, because as soon as somebody says they hate it, someone else says, I love the spring change. I hate the fall change. So I think we're going to have to put up with it for a little bit longer. Lisa, I think you've got the details for Joao there. Excellent. Are there recommendations for getting a car for 3 to 6 months while we plan for getting a permanent vehicle? Joao, can you help with something like that?
Okay, I have to see if it is a rental and then want to buy that car. We can do that.
Hold on, say more about that. So people, it's almost like a lease rent.
Yes,
try before you buy. Try before you buy rental.
It's not like that, because you have to pay the rent. Okay. Yeah. And we are not going to remove all the payment that you do in the rent to buy the car, okay?
Yes, yeah.
Imagine that you will pay $2,000, 2,000 euros by the rental. Okay,
Yeah.
we are not removing the 2,000 euros when you buy the car. Okay, but we can do something to adjust to that. So I have to understand if you just want to rent a car, and I have some partners that can help with that. Okay, if you want to rent and then buy it, we can help with that also. Okay, one directly, and the other one just suggesting a car, a rent a car company. Okay.
That's wonderful. Thanks. That's for you then, John. And João has put his details into the chat for you.
I can add something to this.
Great.
If the option that João mentioned, it's not going to be suitable for you, I have someone that has been renting cars for long term for foreigners, and this is a very good idea because they struggle with rentals for more than 1 month. I think that after 1 month they need to go and change. And I don't think that he has a limit, but I know it can be for several months.
Good to know. So that's to reach out directly to you for that, Gilda.
Yes, because
okay, long-term rentals there. So John, a couple of options for you there. Jonathan, thanking you, Gilda. Perfect, comprehensive answer, Gilda. Thank you so much. Debbie, thanking you, João, and Gilda and Jerry for the driving school info. Debbie also saying, sanity check, I'm doomed. Now, you'll notice that both Jerry and I have passed the sanity check, if that's some comfort to you. right, Debbie. So it can't be that difficult, I think.
Well, I had the sanity clause removed. Boom.
Oh,
sanity clause.
Yeah, I know.
You still can't get that, can you?
I can. And if it's good enough to say once, it's good enough to say twice. Excellent. Thank you, Jerry. And we stay with you, Jerry. My Florida license is valid, so I get the medical and you've escalated it to psychiatric before going to the IMT. That is correct, isn't it?
Yes. If provided you are up to 60 years of age and your US license is if we're talking about a US license and it's valid, then you can continue to drive on your US license until you reach 60 years of age, and then you have to do the exchange at 60.
Yes.
Okay.
This was all in flux, wasn't it, over the last few years, of course.
And keep a watch on it because it does seem to change, but currently that's what it is. It's 60 years of age for US citizens. It's 60, and Canadian, I think it's 60 years of age and a valid license.
Yeah, Jerry, but I'm 69, so that answer doesn't apply to me. So being 69, do I need to get the psych and the medical before I go to IMT?
Yes.
Okay.
No point in going, if you go to IMT without having had that test done, they'll just send you away. So you need to go to, one of the local hospitals will do it. Probably worth giving them a call, asking for an appointment. I think it generally costs around 60 euros, something like that. And we joke about it, but actually the fact that you can walk in all by yourself, I think passes the sanity test. And the medical is really just about eyesight and stuff like that. And then the doctor will put the details in. So when you get to the IMT, that information is already in the system.
Okay, thanks. One other question, which I guess I could Google, but do I need to have an apostilled, I don't know if I said that right, driving record from Florida?
Yes, that could be worth having.
Okay, so I'll get working on it.
I think it's worth doing. Okay, it is worth doing.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
Pleasure, Debbie. When I did mine, I went to a private doctor who had access to the system and logged in. And again, just being able to find and walk into his house without bumping into anything was enough to satisfy his test. And he was able to log into the system and say, yes, this person is okay to be on the roads. So that's another option as well. Some private.
There is one other thing to be aware of on this, which is that when you make the exchange, Debbie, they will give you a piece of paper, which is a temporary license. They won't give you an actual license. Your driving license will be sent back to the States to be validated. And only when they get that validation back will they issue you with a new Portuguese license. So in the meantime, they'll give you this piece of paper, which will be fine in Portugal. But should you need to go back to the States or and rent a car or even in another country, almost certainly they won't give you a car on this piece of paper. So in that case, you need to get an IDP, an international driver's permit. And there are several outlets you can get those from, including ACP, the Automobile Club. That cost about 25 euros. So you only need that if you're traveling outside of Portugal and you wanted to rent a car.
Okay, great information. Thanks so much.
Pleasure, Debbie. Good. Thanks for being here tonight. Great. Okay. I think we've got a great question for you here, Nuno. Jonathan Booth is asking, what insurance should we take for health, vehicle, and renter insurance for that 5-month visit here in Portugal?
Okay, thank you for the question. So there are no temporary insurance policies for that purpose. We can adjust the insured period, but it's not straightforward, and I really need to understand what is the situation. So please give me a call so I could decodify what I'm handling with. Okay.
Yes.
But there are no temporary insurance policies. Also, I take this opportunity to say that sometimes people travel for several months and are abroad several months. Let me advise that in Portugal, regarding car insurance, owners are liable for everything that could happen with that car. Even if the car is stolen and you go to the police and tell them all the damages that the car could make to others, you will be liable. The owner is liable. So, and this is one of the causes why there are no temporary insurance policies for cars. For example, I'm not talking about the rent cars, of course.
Yes.
I'm talking about the car that you are owner for. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
There is one more question following this one. Let me check from Diana.
Oh yeah, that was right. Let's have a look for Diana's.
Yeah. Okay. So to get the return of unused insurance policy, or for the time that you are not using the insurance policy. So in the Portuguese law, it's generically defined that you only can cancel an insurance policy in the middle of the term, in the middle of the annuity, if the risk ends. So, and what this means is if you sell the car, if you sell the house or the apartment, yes, it's possible to end the insurance policy and request for the period until the end of the annuity that you will not use the insurance policy.
Right.
But if you did any claim, no matter the amount claimed, the annual insurance premium, the insurer will get the annual insurance premium.
Right.
Okay. There are also some how I can say this. We can take advantage or some blind spots of the law. So depending on which is the situation, we can try to help you, but please give me a call so I can fully understand what we are handling with. Okay.
Okay, excellent. And just to go back into Jonathan's question, because the question was specifically about the 5-month tour, but when it comes to the visa and the health, the insurance that's required for that, definitely Nunu's your man.
Yes, because the insurance policy for the visa for the first stage, so the meeting in with the VFS office, the embassy or the consulate,
Yeah.
is a travel incoming insurance. It's a specific travel insurance policy, and travel insurance policy usually they are temporary. So for that purpose, yes, no doubt. But
Okay.
the question I understood.
Oh yeah, it was for the 5-month trip.
Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
When Jonathan moves here and maybe lives in Tavira or Tamar or somewhere else for that matter, yes, definitely health insurance, vehicle insurance. You can go to insurance for all of those, as well as the renter insurance as well. And your name came up for pet insurance as well, Nunu. So you can do the full house, can't you? Literally.
Yes, easily.
All right, so there you go. He's the man you need, Jonathan, when you finally move here after that 5-month trip. What was the contact for long-term rentals? Gilles, yes, okay. Casa Portuguesa in the Expats Portugal directory. John O'Connor asking as well, is getting the apostille recommended for everyone or just those over a certain age? Gilda, come back to you for that.
Everyone.
Everyone, okay.
Everyone. And
right.
I just wanted to add something to the previous conversation.
Yes.
I've been doing all my insurance with Nuno. Right now he knows everything about my life. But Nuno, now that they mentioned the pet insurance, we should do an insurance for Mandela.
Really? How is he?
I think it's the only thing that it's missing.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Gilda.
Okay.
What does that cover psychiatric help though, or not, of the insurance policy?
I hope it does.
And I mean for him, not the owner.
Yes, for him. I hope he does, because this week he just destroyed my daughter. She did a package lunch because she was going for a school trip.
Yes.
And don't ask me how, but he managed to destroy the package, which was something very hard, when you take like your beers to the beach and it's a thermal one.
Oh yeah.
He managed to destroy that, and he ran away with the chips package, and he ate all the chips.
Wow. Okay. I'm not sure there's an insurance policy that covers that sort of thing, but it's for the basics.
But if he gets sick and I need to get him to the hospital, as I do many times because of the things that he eats. The other day he just ate a chocolate cake that was on the table, and he managed to get on the table, and
he's
just
quite the character, isn't he? And that's why
we need an insurance for him.
You know what? That's why I don't ask about him so much these days.
Yeah.
It takes quite a long time to catch up with all the naughty stuff he's been doing. Okay.
Too risky to insure, Gilda.
Yeah, he's gonna need a special quote, I think, or a special company. Okay, a special case there, Mandela, the sausage dog, the tackle dog of Gilda's there. Quick question about social security. Kathy, did you want to unmute to ask that? Please go ahead, Kathy. Your social security.
Hey, everybody. Thank you. Yes, so I'm really Kathy and Steve tonight.
Hi, Steve.
So, but before he asks his 3-part question, I registered for the trip to Coimbra, and there was some mention of a WhatsApp group, but I haven't received who would I follow up with about that?
I think Astrid will be able to take care of you on that that particular question there, Kathy.
Okay, so I can email. Okay, Steve.
Steve, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you. Yes, so Social Security has been in the headlines like every day. I know there's changes with identification verification coming at the end of the month, and we arrived in Portugal 2 months ago, and I'm just puzzling through now what the best strategy is. If we should keep it direct deposited in the US or here to Novo Banco. B, if we leave it in the US, which is the best bank? I know if you're living overseas, there are very few. I have a Chase account, but even there, I'm not clear on, if you can have the account that I have and live overseas. And then the last part, C, is changing addresses. It seems kind of hazardous, especially at this point, with both Social Security Administration and or with the banks. So I'm looking for advice on Social Security.
There's a lot in there, and just to clarify, first and foremost, see you in Coimbra, but looking forward to that. It's going to be a great weekend. We're talking about US Social Security, of course, rather than Portuguese, first and foremost. And it might be that Gilda, with her experience of dealing with a number of or many US clients, has something to say about this. And I would recommend a forum thread on this as well, because it's an ongoing, it's like a live situation, isn't it, with possible changes and challenges with that. So it might be useful to have a forum thread over expatsportugal.com/community. First, should we go to Ben at Spartan FX? Because you might have had this question as well, Ben, about Social Security deposits from the United States government.
And we use Spartan FX,
and you
by
use
the way.
Spartan. Okay.
Very
So
happy with it.
What's happening, Ben, from your point of view on this?
So we are still seeing clients predominantly take the Social Security payments into their US bank accounts, and then accumulating the funds and then just transferring them on a kind of ad hoc basis. It will vary from client to client. So some kind of do it every 3 months or 6 months. I think the key thing is really that, as you kind of alluded to there, some of the US banks, when you leave, do shut your accounts quite quickly. They are quite keen to shut the bank accounts of clients who have moved out of the country. So it's really just kind of confirming with them what the process will be on that side. But you can certainly get it paid directly into your account with Spartan FX. I have got clients that do that directly as well. So it's basically a case of telling the Social Security where the payments come from, the account details that you hold with us, and they can factually send them directly there. But it can be a bit of a long process sometimes to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Ben, on that. There's other information coming in from the community, which is really helpful. Like, go on, Gilda.
If you want my opinion, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I'm saying what I usually see my clients doing.
Yep.
They get the Social Security on their US bank account, and then they transfer it to Portugal when needed.
Okay. All right. So that's something that works for your clients there, Gilda.
Thank you. Is there a difference if you keep a US address between, having an address like with a friend or with a company that, a mailing company?
No. You can have an address with a friend or with a company.
Yeah.
Or with your accountant. Some of them have with the accountant.
The thing is, Steve read something that I guess legally you're supposed to inform Social Security if you've been gone 30 days. But
that's from the US side.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer that.
Right.
That's why I'm suggesting perhaps like peer-to-peer help in the community forum. Yeah, absolutely, because you need to be sharing that sort of intel, don't you, with this unfolding situation. On that note, LaRonda, I mean, Debbie, you might want to unmute to talk about this. LaRonda suggesting I wouldn't change anything personally. Keep a US address and keep your US bank. You can easily transfer funds to your foreign bank account. And I'm really afraid of them cancelling Social Security to citizens abroad. That's an awful worst case scenario, Debbie, isn't it? And that's why LaRonda is saying that's why I wouldn't change one.
Yes.
So what's your view on that, Debbie?
And disclaimer, Kathy and I are former co-workers.
Yeah.
So
right,
I've known
okay.
Kathy for like 30 years. I've known her forever.
Right, okay.
So so what I did, I started, some of you may know, I was a full-time RVer for many years. I retired early to travel. And so I had to have a mail forwarding service. For a while, I did use a friend, but at some point you're really abusing your friend and, always asking the friend to have to scan and all that. So I switched to a mail forwarding service, and it's great because it's also my legal address. I vote in Florida. I just voted today using Vote for .org. Okay, I use it for my Medicare address. I've never told Social Security. My Social Security goes to my Chase Bank. When I need to, I usually send about $5,000 over whenever my Millennium account gets a little low, so I can pay rent out of it. At this point, I think, and I don't want to get into a political discussion, but I think things are pretty iffy.
It's hard not to, right? Yeah.
I am not informing the U.S. that I have left. In fact, maybe I shouldn't exchange the driver's
You
license.
are on YouTube now, Debbie.
Yes, Debbie. Just a reminder. Yeah, we're live on YouTube, of course.
Yeah, well, that's okay.
Right,
That's
okay.
fine. Yeah, anybody can hear me say this.
No, fair
There's
enough.
nothing-
Just letting you know.
Nothing secretive about it, but I mean, I'm a citizen of the US. I pay way too much in taxes in the US, so I deserve to have my US benefits. And in fact, I was just over there. I sold my car and I turned my RV into the bank because I couldn't sell it. So that's why I had to go to the US. And when I was there, I used my Medicare, and I got a pair of glasses, and I got some medication and some other things. I mean, I pay for it. I pay taxes. I pay for my Medicare. So, I'm a citizen of the US and only a resident of Portugal. So anyway, to circle back, I think it's better. I think I pay maybe 12 or 13 or 15 a month for the mailing service. Well worth it. They scan the envelope when it comes in. If I want it scanned, they will scan the contents. I got a credit card and I needed the CVV from the back.
Yes,
and I asked them to do that, and they did. So I was able to use the credit card online instead of waiting for a month for it to get here. And then what I do is whenever I really want my mail, I've always got friends visiting, I'll just have the mail forwarded from my mail forwarder to them, and then they'll bring it in their, in their luggage. So at this point, I had thought about having it direct deposited here, and then I was like, no, just things are getting too iffy. And as far as Chase Bank knows, my mail forwarding service is where I live. It's perfectly legal. It's absolutely legal. You can do the research if you don't believe me. And so I've had that Chase account for years and years as a person on the road in an RV, and also now that I live here. So I don't know. I just think things are kind of scary. I see there's some hands up, so I'm going to
That's really Debbie. Thank you so much for that. Would you care to share your, if not here, then on the forum, your mailing?
Oh, sure. There are several. You can Google them. I use one called St. Brendan's Isle. It's in Green Cove Springs, Florida. And I use them because I wanted to stay a Florida resident. There's no state income taxes. It's where I'm retired from. I'm retired from the same place Kathy is retired from. And so I wanted to be able to vote in the state, et cetera, et cetera. They're excellent. They're one of the oldest ones. They started as a mail forwarding service for yachties, people that work on yachts, or maybe like cruise ship captains or cargo ship captains, whatever, for them to have an address and get their mail. And then they were like, hey, wait a minute, maybe RVers would like to use us too. And so I started using them as an RVer, and now I use them as an expat. So they're really good. You can look up other ones, but I'm very happy with them. And again, I chose them because Florida doesn't have state income tax.
Very good. Thank you for all of that. And what a reputable and reliable and safe sounding company, St. Brendan's. It's got a great ring to it, hasn't it? On that note, Jerry, St. Jerry.
Yeah, I mean, I think St. Brendan is an Irish saint, so I'm not sure I trust him.
Look, we've done politics. Let's not get into religion as well tonight.
There are 2 points that I think are worth adding to everything that's just been discussed. The first is, and these are things that come up in the consultations that I do all the time. The first is the frequency of moving money from the US to Portugal is worth talking to Spartan about that, because there are costs obviously involved in moving money, and possibly if you move larger amounts less frequently, there are savings to be made in terms of that cost. So I think that's the first point I think it's worth considering. And secondly, if you can keep an address in the US and maintain a credit card in the US, because when you arrive here, your credit rating is going to dive. okay, and it's going to go back to the days when you were a student, and so until you build up a new credit rating here, and the best way to do that is probably, my advice would be, get a credit card here with one of the banks and put all your living expenses on it and just pay it off every month, which will build up. But in the meantime, if you can keep an address in the US, then you can keep a credit card in the US with hopefully with an acceptable credit limit. So those are the 2 points I wanted to add.
Excellent. That's some
Thank
really
you.
great information from everybody. And Jose, a bit more, I think.
Sure. I just want to, obviously, everyone's situation is specific to them, but just to give you an idea of what we've been doing, I'm retired military, so I have a checking account with Navy Federal Credit Union. And if anyone in your family has been in the military, you qualify for that. So our checks, both my pension and my Social Security, go to Navy Federal. And then we have an account with Schwab, which we send money to, and then Schwab sends it to Spartan. And we've been doing that on an ad hoc basis. However, I share your concern. There have been a couple of stories just this week where Mr. Musk's teenage geniuses, fiddling around with Social Security, have actually gone into recipients' checking accounts and clawed Social Security money back, declaring them as dead when they obviously were not.
Good heavens.
So our position right now is we are wanting to get our money out of our Navy Federal account as quickly as we get it, put it somewhere that's not as easy for them to find, just in case things get really crazy and lunatic, because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So it's a little cumbersome, but I'd rather know that I'm making it as hard for them to find my money than not. But I agree with Jerry. We use our daughter's address for Social Security. For our credit cards, because we still have a couple of US credit cards. But I have changed our address with Social Security to our address in Portugal. And what will happen when you do that, or may happen, it's happened to us twice though, is you get these threatening letters from Social Security saying, we notice you no longer live in the country, and if you don't respond to us within 60 days, we will cut off your benefits. And I made the mistake of, obviously, I got that letter the first time. It was alarming. And I confirmed that, yes, I am alive and I'm living in Portugal, and went to the CTT and sent it back registered mail. Well, 3 months later, I get a second letter saying, we haven't received your response, so we're assuming that you are dead, and we're going to stop paying your check. And I'm like, what the heck's going on here? I have a receipt because I sent a return receipt.
Yeah.
So I finally got through to the embassy in Lisbon and explained to them what happened. I said, oh, you made the mistake of sending it registered mail. You should have sent it regular mail, because the contractor that Social Security uses to open those letters is not allowed to accept registered mail. So they just tear it up and throw it in the trash. I'm like,
wow.
It would be nice if you said that in the warning letter that you're giving people.
Good heavens.
It's just a mess. But that would be my recommendation. Obviously,
thank you.
It's your situation, but things are extremely, extremely sensitive at the moment.
Yes.
And obviously, we know Musk is out to find trillions of dollars to give billionaires more tax cuts. And Social Security is one of the most, quote unquote, expensive programs, although it isn't, because we pay into it. And I still pay 6 figures in taxes to the US every year, even though I get zero in benefits from that.
Don't hear so much about that side of the transaction, do we? And we never thought we'd be having this conversation, did we? Who would have guessed we would be having this conversation tonight? It's extraordinary, isn't it? Extraordinary times.
Yeah.
So thank you, say Debbie, Jerry, on that. And we do need to conclude now. Maybe a slight mood changer, and maybe a little self-indulgent of me. But already, LaRonda, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. And that is a thread I think that should continue on the forum. And I hope we've got to everybody's questions. Again, go to the forum if not, and I'll bring them again next week. We've also got people on YouTube, Uncle P and Gina. Gina, why aren't you a member? I thought you were a member, but maybe sign up at expatsportugal.com. We need to have you over here on the Zoom call. Very briefly then, thank you, LaRonda, for colds, flu, fresh garlic clove. We get that in Portugal with our prato de dia, I think. Day helps and seems to help getting well. happen sooner. Fresh ginger root tea, good for clearing out mucus and easing body aches, good for digestion, my favorite tea. Apple cider vinegar, honey and warm water is also supposed to be good for sore throats. Can't vouch for that though. I don't get sore throats. Well, thank you, LaRonda. Very thoughtful of you there. I don't think Ben's going to be very helpful because he's just gloating about how hot it is in the UK at the moment. But good for you, Ben. It won't always be like that. Thank you for being here tonight, mate.
We've had 2 nice days. It's summer. We're done.
That's right. I'm surprised you've got your T-shirt on. Thank you.
I had to wear it at some point.
Thank you for being dressed for the call tonight.
I bet he's got shorts on as well.
If anything. Right. Thanks, Ben. Much appreciated. Open up your Spartan account and we'll see Sarah, of course, on the webinar next week. Daniel, would Grandma approve of my milk, honey, and a few drops of Berau in there?
Indeed, that's a seal of approval of the grandmas of all Portugal. So yes, you'll get better soon with that house remedy.
It was delicious. Anything else you'd add? What do you do?
Usually what people do is if they want the strong stuff, they'll put aguardente.
Oh, okay. That's what I'll escalate to aguardente if necessary.
Yes.
Thanks, Daniel. Much appreciated. Nunu, what about you? Where's Nunu? Is he still with us?
You're muted, Nunu.
Hey, Nunu.
Sorry, Carl. Sorry. Can you repeat? Because I was
I'm having milk, honey, and Berau for my cold. What's your family remedy for in these cold and damp times when you get a little bit of a bug?
Well, I'm drinking a special tea with cinnamon, ginger, curcuma. I'm forgetting the translation too.
Yeah, curcumin. Yeah. Cumin, isn't it? No. What is curcumin? Somebody will tell us in the chat. I know what you mean.
Turmeric.
Turmeric. There you go. Yes, of course.
Turmeric. Thank you.
Very good.
It's an amazing moisture, and it makes an amazing tea. Oh, and also black pepper, all together
as well, and no booze in there. Okay, letting the side down a bit. And
it kills everything.
It kills everything. Right, so does aguardente, though. To be fair, thank you, Nunu, for being here tonight. Finally, Gilda, what's your go-to for these sorts of things?
Well, actually, I do it almost every day to avoid. Really, it's true.
Right, okay.
I get sick with colds and those sorts of things.
Yes.
I put ginger. I drink ginger and lemon tea.
Yep.
And I put ginger in my soup.
Right.
And basically in everything that I eat.
Very good. I thought you were going to say Alentejo red wine, but yeah,
No.
a serious herbal answer there.
I told you that I'm a different people. You are not believing
You are.
me.
You really are, aren't you? What happened to you? You used to be cool. Okay. Thanks, Gilda. Thank you, everybody. Great session tonight. Sorry to run over. Astrid, is there anything else to add?
Just what was happening next week. You've already mentioned that we've got Sarah with Spartan FX as our guest next Thursday. Afterwards, of course, we're going to have the Dream Team with the town hall again. And just noting that next Saturday night is, or the Saturday after is Hank and Connie. So don't forget to RSVP for that. Finally, we will be collating all the final numbers for the Coimbra meetup on the 12th and 13th of April. So if you haven't secured your tickets yet and you want to, please do that, because we need to get all the details through to the hotel for the dinner and the bus tour and all that kind of stuff. So come and join us. We're going to have a lot of fun.
Looking forward to that. Sorry to keep everybody, but that's been a very helpful, useful and informative session in these bonkers times. Have a good week and we'll see you again soon.
Carl, can I just add my cure for you?
Please do.
Go to bed with Jack.
What?
Go to bed with Jack.
Right, okay. I think Mrs. Emma.
Jack Daniels. He's a nice guy.
All right. Thank you. I thought I'd have a lot of